President Trump now signing that historic Gaza deal. Let's listen in.
Some were brought in and some were not. And they're working out to find out where those bodies are. It's hard to believe that you even have to say something like that. It's so sad. It's so sad. But what's not sad is that we have finally, after, I guess they say 3,000 years, I've heard from 3,000 years to 500 years, but whatever it is, it's a lot. But this was the one, this was the granddaddy of them all, and frankly, I thought this was probably going to be the toughest, and maybe in many ways it was, but we had a lot of good talent. Steve Witkoff, Jared, and Marco, and Pete, and General Kane was so great. John Ratcliffe was incredible. We had an amazing array of talent, and we were helped by, in particular, the countries represented at this table. I will say, Tamim, you were fantastic, and your country is unbelievable, and I don't think they give you a fair shake. They talk about you as though you're not a nice person, and you happen to be a nice person. You happen to live in a little tough neighborhood. You're surrounded by everybody. And without you, this wouldn't have happened. And I just want to thank you very much. That's Qatar. And he's an amazing leader. And another man who's been a friend of mine for a long time. I don't know what it is. I like the tough people better than I like the soft, easy ones. I don't know what the hell that is. It's a personality problem, I suspect. But this gentleman from a place called Turkey has one of the most powerful armies actually in the world. It's much more powerful than he even lets known. He reached top of them, and he was winning them, and he did win them. And he doesn't want any credits. He doesn't want anything. He just wants to be left alone. He's a tough cookie, but he's been my friend. And every time I've ever needed him, he's been there for me. So I just want to thank President Erdogan, Turkey. With him because he is difficult. They called me. They said, "Would you do me a favor? Could you speak to Erdogan?" And I do, and he never fails us, right, General? He never fails. He's amazing. So I just want to thank you for the friendship. It's great. Thank you very much. And then, of course, we have the host tonight, and I just want to thank you very much. There was a reason we chose Egypt because you were very helpful. And very, very helpful. Everybody wanted to have this, but we really thought it was appropriate. And you are a great leader. You have very little crime. We have problems that other countries don't have. And of course, nothing's perfect, but the job you do is amazing, and I want to thank you. Another one, we've been my friend right from the beginning. During the campaign against crooked Hillary Clinton, have you heard of her? We were both downstairs waiting to go up to meet this gentleman who has a place called Egypt, the oldest civilization. They say 6,000 years. China is 5,000 years, but you're actually number one. 6,000 years, can you believe it? But the oldest, they say, civilization. But so I went up to meet him first, and we liked each other so much that she waited for about an hour and a half. And I think your meeting lasted about 2 minutes with her. So I always remembered that. But that was our first meeting. We had great chemistry together. And he's a fantastic man and a fantastic general, by the way. But he's a great president. And I want to thank Egypt and all of your representatives for treating us all so well. So we're really representative of a whole group of nations, and they're sitting behind us. And you know most of them. I can tell you this guy's got so much money. They all have so much money. There's more money and power sitting behind us. I love that they're behind us. We've never been sitting behind anybody before. This is a very unique position for them. But they are seriously, they're among the most powerful countries in the world, the richest countries in the world. And there's never been really an assemblage like what we have today. I don't think I've never seen it anyway. And I want to thank everybody for being with us. Man, I just solved the war for him. Azerbaijan. Did I do a good job? Where did you come here? Where is Arius? You guys are still getting along, right? They fought for 32 years. In about 1 hour we settled it, right? And they like each other now, too. That's great. Well, I want to thank everybody for being a very strong ruler. He's doing a great job. You're doing a great job. Thank you very much. So many, but we're actually going to be making a speech after this, so this is just a very important signing, but we're doing a signing, then we're doing a speech, and then I may stay behind with the leaders just to talk about that, some things without the press. I want to thank the media for you've been so respectful on this deal. You know the importance of the deal, and I really, it was so pleasant to watch. I was on the plane for quite a while listening to the various newscasts, and they were all fair. They were talking about how incredible this is. This is an incredible day for the world, let alone the Middle East. So I just wanted to thank the media. They really treated it with respect. I wish you could be like that on other things, but that's perhaps too much to ask for. But on this, tremendous, everybody feels the same. Just tremendous respect, and we appreciate it very much. Can we get the documents, please? Okay.
You'll sign right here.
Okay. Okay.
See document. Here's
This took 3,000 years to get to this point. Can you believe it? And it's going to hold up, too. It's going to hold up. Okay, thank you. You can use my pen if you want. Have a pen? Want to use mine? Okay. Okay. Okay.
You can hold it up for
Okay. Fine. I think we're going to hold it up. I don't hold up the signature page, yeah. So we're going to go and I'm going to say few words. We'll give you a little speech, and then we're going to meet with the leaders after that and spend a little time together without the media. The media is invited to the speech. I just want to tell you the people behind me and some of the people in the room that are so helpful, but the people behind me are the greatest leaders, most powerful leaders, the richest leaders, frankly. Sometimes it's not politically correct to say that, but I'll say it, the richest in the world that the world has ever seen. And yet when you get to know them, I know every one of them in their own way, and I can say in particular some, because that's the way life works, but some of the greatest people you'll ever meet, and people that really care for their countries. And why this happened is they all came together and they wanted to get Gaza straightened out. They wanted to get the whole thing straightened out. It got to a point where it was just crazy. We started talking. It went really, Tamim, it went smoothly. It went so smoothly. You were such a big help, but it went so smoothly that nobody could even believe it, that we're sitting here and getting this all certified out and all done. And everybody's happy about it. Everybody's happy about it, like I've never seen before, actually. I've done other deals, and people don't care as much. Big deals, I think they're big deals, but this is something that's taken off like a rocket ship. And it did from the beginning, and I've heard for years, this is the biggest deal, it'll never happen. For years, long before I ran for office, that this is the Middle East. It's the biggest, most complicated deal. And also it's the place that could lead to tremendous problems like World War III. They always talked about World War III would start in the Middle East. And that's not going to happen. We don't want it to start anywhere, actually, but it's not going to happen. So I just want to thank everybody, and I'll see you in a little while. And in particular, thank you all. Thank you, Tamim. Mr. General, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Great job. Great job. Thank you very much.
There are days that mark a turning point in human history. Days when we witness the best of what humanity can achieve. Today is one of those days. The signing of this peace treaty is not just a ceremony or a political gesture. It's a living, breathing moment in history. It's a statement that, after years of hostility, after decades of distrust, nations can still find the courage to choose peace. For far too long, the world has grown accustomed to division. We've seen endless cycles of violence, generation after generation, inheriting the same fear, the same resentment, the same uncertainty. Entire communities have been shaped by conflict, and hope has felt like a distant dream. But today, we witnessed something different. We witnessed the power of diplomacy, the triumph of dialogue over destruction. This agreement represents more than two sides putting their names on a document. It represents a shift in mindset, the understanding that no amount of war, no amount of hatred, no amount of vengeance can build the kind of future that peace can. And make no mistake, peace is not weakness. Peace is strength. It's courage. It's vision. It takes far more courage to extend a hand than to clench a fist. It takes far more wisdom to seek compromise than to seek conquest. And it takes far more leadership to end a war than to start one. This moment will be remembered not only for the genius and the strength of President Trump, the United States, and the nations involved, but for what it symbolizes to the world. It reminds us that we human beings, no matter our borders, faith, or languages, share a universal desire for stability, safety, and a chance to build a better tomorrow. It's a message to every child growing up in conflict zones that peace is not an illusion. It's a message to every skeptic who believes diplomacy is dead, that dialogue still works. And it's a message to every leader around the globe that history does not remember those who prolong suffering. It remembers those who end it. What we saw today is the embodiment of leadership. Leadership that refuses to be defined by fear. Leadership that understands that lasting powers come not from dominance, but from cooperation. And the global ripple effect will be enormous. Economically, peace brings trade, prosperity, and opportunity. Socially, it allows families to reunite, for students to study, for communities to rebuild. Spiritually, it renews humanity's faith in progress that perhaps, even in this divided age, the world can still come together when it matters most. This peace treaty also reminds us of something we often forget, that history is not static. It's written by the actions we take, by the choices we make in moments like this. It's easy to fall into cynicism, to say that peace never lasts. But if we take that mindset, then we rob future generations of the chance to live without war. I don't want to sound too preachy, but what we saw today, leaders from nations once at odds, sitting at the same table, shaking hands, speaking words of reconciliation, that's something the world doesn't see enough. And that should be celebrated. President Trump should be celebrated. For once, the headlines aren't about destruction. They are about diplomacy. They are about human progress. They are about hope. And hope is a powerful thing. This treaty will not erase the differences overnight. No peace agreement ever does. But it plants a seed of understanding, of cooperation, of shared purpose. And if the seed is nurtured with honesty, respect, and goodwill, it can grow into something that changes the course of history. So today, let's take a moment to appreciate the magnitude of what's been achieved. Let's give credit to every diplomat, negotiator, and citizen who refused to give up on dialogue. And let's remember that peace, true lasting peace, is not something handed down by politicians. It's built by people. by communities, by all of us choosing to believe that unity is still possible. This is more than a treaty. It's a reminder that even in a fractured world, humanity can still find common ground. That the desire for peace, for our children, for our future, will always be stronger than the forces that divide us. I am very certain that history will look back on this day as a moment when the world turned a page. A day when, for once, the news was about hope instead of hatred. A day when peace against all odds prevailed. Because no matter what flag we stand under or what language we speak, the dream of peace is universal. And today, that dream became real. Thank you, President Trump.